The Sixers. Surprisingly, they've been pretty good. Do you guys believe in the Philadelphia 76ers? And if not, what do you need to see to make you believe?
I get nervous anytime a team is just going to depend on Kelly Oubre. He's been awesome to start. He's been great to start the season. I mean, he's shooting unbelievable from lights out and all of those things. But I have seen enough from Oubre at several different stops. And, maybe it's the Aaron Garden thing and he's in the right role now or whatnot. But I feel like he's been in the same role everywhere. And I just feel like, cool, Oubre in November, freaking awesome. Like, I wonder what Oubre in March looks like. Like, I just feel very nervous depending on that.
There's that. I do think we do have to give credit that it's not just like he has not just been like shooting the piss out of the ball and like he's shooting the ball well, but not like outlandishly. He's also been playing well on top of this, and I think that you talked about the what the difference like a shift in philosophy and system can play. I think Tobias Harris getting to do more than stand in the corner has probably been, he's been a guy who's been one of those like, because he was overpaid for what he was producing, he became a bad player in people's minds. And it's like, oh yeah, no, wait, Tobias Harris is actually pretty good if we let him do some stuff. But the fact that like all of their top four guys are all shooting like low 40s from three, it's like, okay, you kind of expect that to come down. But I think that, I'm not going to dismiss it, but I think I agree with Mo that I've been a Kelly Oubre skeptic over his career. So I'm going to need to see it for a lot more than 2 weeks. But if we're having the same conversation about like that top four guys of Embiid and Maxey and Harris and Oubre, and the conversation is about the same in January, I think that's, we definitely have to take notice of that.
I'll say this. They have a top 5 defense and a top 5 offense. No, it's early. Okay. They also are second in net rating behind Boston and ahead of Denver. So they've had a very good, like statistically, had a very good start to the season. Is it sustainable?
I mean, some of it too is let's wait till we start to see some real challenges here on the schedule. You get to beat up on Washington, no problem. And so on. There's going to be some fun games coming up here. They got Boston twice this month and all of those things. But one thing I'm going to say, and this is going to be the compliment for Philly. I think we started the season with like, hey, it's just a top 2 team in the East, just a top 2, and then everybody else. Like, they're right there. I mean,
or it might be, and they just might be one of the two.
And they might be the other two. That's very true. That's very possible. So
you guys like the pieces that they added here in the Harden trade? I mean, like Covington and Batum. I mean, it's at least a couple of. I mean, they can play, right?
I like the pieces they got back. Like, I don't think they're earth shatterers or whatnot, but like there are guys that make sense, and that Nick Batum helps you win games. I've watched enough of him with the Clippers that he just does kind of.
Well, he might be an upgrade on the PJ Tucker role, right? Like, I mean, as a guy who can space the floor and play some defense, and
because he'll actually shoot the 3 ball when it comes to him. Like, that's kind of a key thing there with Tucker the past few years. His attempts have dropped, but the thing with it is like he just does so many other things. And on a team, let's just be honest, when you're looking at the East, you're chasing Boston right now.
Right now, yeah.
And you need long, lanky guys to go at their long, lanky guys. Not saying they could stop them, but they can give them some trouble. They can give them a little bit more challenging situations and those things. So I think like for me, those guys make sense for them. Like, I think they'll be helpful for them. Like, I think I like the pieces they got from the trade. I like the roster they have. I'm just saying, I'm just scared of Oubre. Like, I'm just like, okay, like he tends to do this and then break people's hearts later in the year. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, and honestly, like their biggest questions aren't Kelly Oubre. It's Joel Embiid, and their questions about Joel Embiid are questions that can't get answered now. They're questions that better or worse he can't even ask until May. So, we're going to take a little bit of a wait and see on that, because it's a guy who has had some problems both staying on the court and has frankly been the best player on teams that have lost some series they shouldn't have.
Yeah, and I think also I just want to we got to give him a little bit more love. Like, I know all the attention is on Jokic and whatnot. The fact that he's averaging 6.2 assists this season, which I believe is a career high for him by a lot, like 2 more than last season, like that says a lot. Double-digit rebounds, averaging 28 something points a night. Like, he's doing a lot of things right for Philly in that sense. And I know, and Seth, you're right. Like, they're the team that they've taken the mantle from Denver, and like, you have to prove it to us now in the playoffs. We don't give a damn what you do now, but you got to prove it to us in the playoffs. And if you don't get to the conference finals, it's a failure and your career sucks, and go live under a rock. Like,
Well-
that's going to be kind of the attitude we're all going to have about it. So I think that's the thing. But to start the season, he's been really freaking good. Like, I don't think we're talking like we talk about, Jokic and all that. He's not getting the shine he should, and I understand why, but he's been really good. The passing's been great.
Is there a sense of we talked about with Denver about playing with a sense of joy, and we hinted on it with Tobias Harris a little bit, is not playing Harden ball.
It's maxi ball. It's maxi ball. It's not just not Harden ball. It's maxi ball.
And the difference
Tyrese Maxey is electric.
No, the difference is like, I think we've all played, various levels and stuff like that. You can handle somebody being a gunner if they do it quickly. It's the stand and watch for 15 seconds and then someone take a bad shot. And, I think for a guy like Tobias Harris, I'm going to stand and watch, and you want me to play defense and run through. It's like, I've done some things in this league, and that's what you want me to do. And that's what I get to do every game. This sucks. And no matter how professional, and there's never been any question about Tobias Harris's professionalism. I mean, he's, it like at a certain level, like you're punching a clock rather than playing with that sense of joy. And maybe they're getting a little bit of that between that and perhaps a new voice in the Mo. Let me tee you up for that one.
No, I'm not going there. I'm just gonna go with, you mean playing with James Harden isn't fun? Like, I mean, he was on a leash, he felt like, the whole time he was in Philadelphia and all of that. You don't feel like it's fun? No, but I want to go to Maxey here real quick, because that's another dude. That type of player in the playoffs has not had a ton of success.
Right.
And that's the question now. Like, regular season kills it. Usually that type of player is a 6 man of the year type player and whatnot, but like, let's see what he does in the playoffs, because that's
when it's 7 games of being guarded by Drew Holiday,
Tatum, but we just discussed Milwaukee's defense, so I'm not worried about them. But when you have to deal with that though for 7 games, it's a very different type, and just that type of player, I'll be fascinated to see how that plays, because they're leaning so much on him now, as they should. But I'll be very curious to see what that does in the playoffs.
Do you feel comfortable saying that Maxey has graduated out of that sort of that Tyler Hero, CJ McCollum, the Anthony Simons kind of
small guard who can
small offense? Yeah. Is there anything he can show you during the season that will make you feel that, or is that just always?
There's a reason why graduations are in May and June, Seth.